Welcome back to The Square. I am your host, Curtis the Fifth.
And I'm Curtis the Fourth.
And it is now week 12 of the NFL season. Still moving by way too fast for my liking, but happy Thanksgiving week to everybody. So make sure you're spending time with your family this week and whatnot. But before we get into Thanksgiving games in this week, we have to reflect on the week that was. A terrible fantasy week for me, but we're going to be talking regular football. I refuse to talk about fantasy football today. I do. Let's dive into it. Let's get into the recap show. We'll eventually get into all the rest of it. You guys know how this works by now. Week 11 started off on Thursday with a Patriots shutout on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, 25-0, and New England is now on top of the AFC East, rather. And we'll get into Buffalo in a minute, but let's focus on New England.
Yes. Man, congrats and kudos to Belichick doing what Belichick does. I mean, man, winning.
Yeah.
He knows how to win.
Just win, baby. I mean, Stevenson out there kind of just kept chipping away. 12 carries for 69 yards, just solid, methodical game. I mean, same thing from Mac Jones. 22 of 26, 207 yards and a touchdown. This quick, efficient, get in, get out, Thursday night, short week. Let's get the win and let's move on.
Yes, and I like the way you use the word efficient. I mean, good Lord. Bill Belichick, I mean, he has wrote the blueprint on efficiency. I'm saying this, look, if you want to know how to run a running back by committee system, New England is the model. I mean, all three of them guys combined together look like just a well-oiled machine.
But I just think, I mean, if they focus on Stevenson too, if they kind of invest into him and him becoming the lead back, you could have a star running back in Stevenson here in New England, which is going to be crazy to say because for the longest time, I don't think I've ever seen New England with a stud running back.
Not since the likes of Corey Dillon and Curtis Martin. It's been years.
Yeah,
but,
so at this point, I think that they could kind of feed off of a Mac Jones-Stevenson tandem in that backfield there. And then it's just a matter of who is going to step up as the weapons on the outside, and that offense is just going to be humming because they've already got the offensive line, they've got the offensive coordinator, they've got the system. Plug and play. Let's keep it moving. And then you do have those backup guys at running back that can spell Stevenson, and so you don't kind of drive him into the dirt, as it were.
And it's true. I guess I'm more impressed with the fact that they don't need a lead.
Yeah.
Now they just, I mean, you take any of the three, they're like three equal parts. But you put it all together, it makes for one efficient night. Combined. So I just the system. I'm just kudos to the New England offensive system. I mean, it's hella impressive.
And yeah, I think it's time to hit the panic button if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan because it has devolved offensively from week to week. It has gotten worse and worse and worse, and then defensively, it's gotten worse and worse. I just feel like the defense just is now just kind of running out of steam on carrying this offense, and now this offense is just completely broken down.
Carrying the offense?
They have been. I mean, outside of since Cordell Patterson.
No, apart from that, I'm just in general. I'm like, my God, this team is just bad.
It is, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's gotten to a point where like they literally just can't get up for games now.
Yeah. I have nothing to say. I've already gave you my take on Atlanta. I'm virtually completely out on them. I mean,
one person on that team is worth keeping if you're a fantasy owner.
Yeah.
even though he's injured right now.
You're an NFL owner.
Yeah, true. That is a fact.
Yeah, Atlanta. I will look to the Braves. Look to the Hawks. Just look away.
Yeah, football is not going to be your cup of tea, if as it were.
No.
Let's move on to Sunday, and let's get right to it. Colts absolutely laid down a hammer on the Buffalo Bills. I think the biggest thing is this was in Bills Mafia. Like, this was in the heart of it. And they came. It's cold out there.
Yep.
They're loud. They're rowdy. It's packed house.
Came right in your side door, right through your
Right
kitchen,
in the mouth.
took chicken right off the doggone stove, punched you in the mouth, sat on your couch, drank lemonade.
No, that was just Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
That's not the Colts. That was just Jonathan Taylor.
Hey, enough said.
Jonathan Taylor stuck his hand in the cookie jar, looked right in your face, and smacked you. Basically, what he did. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, a Buffalo Bills player, oh god, Jonathan Taylor had himself a career day. I know I said I wouldn't talk fantasy. I think he's among one of, I think, 3 players to ever crack 50.
That's not a quarterback, or
that's not a quarterback. Yes, a non-quarterback.
I believe so.
So I don't know the exact stat, but I know he's in this now rarefied air of a 50-point game.
I got him in several leagues and did not feel the full impact of his game.
Well, yeah, it's about the
because I'm so used to being on the receiving end of this.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
sometimes it doesn't feel good. I remember a few years back when I had Dalvin Cook and he had his 4 touchdown game against Green Bay.
Yeah, I remember.
And I beat you.
Yeah, I clearly remember that.
Yeah.
It still stings. Thanks for bringing that memory back. I kind of actually forgot
it. So, I won't let you forget about that one.
I won't let you
it's the only solace I had from that season.
I won't let you forget about this season. Then. Okay, let's go.
Well, if I still make the playoffs, we'll be fine.
3 weeks, sir.
Back to Sunday. But no, the Colts look, and this is what I've felt like the Colts could have been all year with a healthy team. They started off this year absolutely banged up and battered, and they went 0-3, and everybody was just like, well, Indy's done. They can't come back from it. And now they've gone 6-2 in their last 8 weeks to get them to a 6-5 mark. They're above 500 for the first time this season, and they look like one of the top menaces in the AFC right now.
They do right now. I mean, that's subject to change. Not saying subject to change for any team at the drop of a dime.
This is a week-to-week league at this point.
Yeah, but right now, they that team. And, man, you talk about impressive win. There you go. I mean, and it's not like they was in Indianapolis. They were
in
like
Buffalo.
You said, they went to Buffalo. I don't think couldn't nobody besides a Colts homer would have even tried to even dare to say I seen it coming the whole time. You seen it every week. I mean, win or lose don't matter. But yeah, 41-15. Are you serious?
I'm not surprised the Colts won. I'm surprised the Colts they literally just walked right over Buffalo.
Okay, let's get into this.
I know you have some thoughts on Buffalo, and I'll let you have the floor for that.
I just give me a minute. Yeah. I ain't gonna take a long time. I'm having a serious problem with Buffalo now. But Buffalo and Baltimore, and I'm just keeping this at Buffalo, but Baltimore is in that list too. But it's just that is team that just keeps fooling me, and time again. Every time I'm ready to say, okay, they righted the ship, they ready to take off, they ready to go, and boom, within a week or two, they drop a big game.
Yep.
I mean, or Buffalo, you barely beat Jacksonville, and it's
no, they lost to Jacksonville.
Did they lose it?
6-9.
That's right, they did lose that. Yeah, I'm between Buffalo, Tennessee, and I'm getting these teams mixed up.
No, it's a lot. I know.
But Buffalo, I'm keeping it there. I mean, come on, man. 41. Your defense, this so-called top 10 defense in the NFL.
No, this defense coming into yesterday or Sunday. I don't know what day it is anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Coming into this week was the number 2 defense in the NFL statistically.
Enough said. That's 41 points at home.
Not okay.
Yeah.
No. I think the most egregious thing about it is he had like 3 touchdowns by early second quarter. So it was at a point where I was like, all right, well, Jonathan Taylor's going to be done for the day. They're just going to load the box, and they're just going to let Carson Wentz. They're going to try to get Carson Wentz to kind of F it up. Nope, game plan did not change. We are going to go drop everything back, and we are just going to continue to let 185 yards, 32 carries.
Lovely from a fantasy's perspective, but yes, and things you don't get to see it that much, but man, it is so appreciable when it works in the favor of the offense to allow your rusher to run that many times.
Yeah,
because it's like, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. As opposed,
they were not going to stop him.
Right, they wasn't force feeding it. They wasn't trying to make the run work. They wasn't, But on the other hand, Buffalo, you did absolutely nothing
Nothing
to
to stop
stop
it.
this. And I'm like, are you so worried about the passing game to the point where okay, well, we can't do anything with Jonathan Taylor. Well, you couldn't do anything with anybody at this point because they just completely everything went off the rails for Buffalo. And now another embarrassing loss. And the caveat to all of this, you have allowed New England to catch you and pass you.
Pass you.
New England was never supposed to be in the conversation this year. The year you finally are supposed to take over the AFC East, Bill Belichick said, "Not on my watch." So,
Well, so far we still have quite a few weeks
just
left.
give it to me as the season ended today. That
Yes.
is where we're at narratively.
You are a half game back now.
And-
You've given up the lead to New England, and now New England looks pretty not just formidable in the AFC. New England looks formidable just to dominate the division from here on out. Like, it doesn't look like if you can't beat them now, when are you ever going to be able to beat them?
Exactly.
So that's just Buffalo's got to get their act together. And offensively, I think is more egregious. I know they had a number 2 defense, and a defense can have a bad day. I mean, you're not going to be able to be the number 2 defense every single week. It's just not feasible. The season's too long for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any problems with especially when you have a MVP candidate in Jonathan Taylor coming into your building. Would have preferred if this was you on the road, but regardless, you can get got any day. I mean, we've seen it with Dallas, we've seen it with Kansas City, we've seen it with the Chargers, we've seen it with Tampa Bay, Rams, Arizona. Like, anybody can get got. So I have no problems with the defensive performance. I will have a problem if they have a defensive performance like this again next week, especially on a short week. But to their offense, I do have a problem with the multiple turnovers. Special teams, you can't have phantom tripped fumbles when you're down by multiple scores. That just can't happen. Those are mental errors that are just absolute killers to any sort of momentum that you're trying to build. And then on top of it, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, Josh Allen. Where the hell is the run game? You cannot rely on 35 pass attempts week in, week out. Does not work in the NFL. Does not. You cannot just continue to throw the ball. You have to build some sort of run game. In the fact that there's 2 things that you needed to do this offseason. Pass rush, run game. You got the pass rush for the most part. I mean, not in this game. But you got the pass rush. Run game has completely hampered this offense the last few weeks. This offense has not looked good since mid to early October. So where is it? Why are you not running the ball? Devin Singletary and Zach Moss had a good game just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Games got out of control. Obviously, they completely abandoned the run.
Completely.
I mean, come on, 13 rushes for the entire game. I'm sorry, you can find yourself behind, but you ain't gonna be able to just go 98% on pass, being down multiple touchdowns and multiple possession scores, and then just expect you're just gonna air it out all of a sudden and get yourself back into it. Now I know Buffalo has a very, very good offense, but they did not have a very good one on Sunday.
Not at all.
And never in a game. They completely just fell behind and just you can't even say I don't even know. Is it fair to even say they played catch up? It was just a completely sloppy, embarrassing game for the Bills. Personally, down on them again. I can't.
I think you'll like where I put them in the power rankings this week.
I kind of was half-ass generous to them, where I wasn't to some other teams, and you'll see. But this was a weird week for me.
Oh,
personally,
crazy week.
I struggled with my top 10, but that's not that segment.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But yeah, but with that being said, Buffalo, y'all got to do better. Again, I'm completely down. I'm not necessarily out, but I'm down. And now New England is in the conversation. Indianapolis is damn sure in the conversation, and I'm talking about for the AFC crown.
Buffalo needs to earn whatever flowers they're going to get from here on out. These 4 losses, each and every one of them have been horrible.
Critical losses. And yeah, they're not like, oh well, they slipped up and
I think I will say one game was a slip up, and that would be the Baltimore game. Outside of that, the other 3 are egregious.
Dropping a power rank type.
I know.
Matchup. It's just, I agree. It doesn't look good, and it's not good for your resume. It's not gonna. You're not gonna get any special treatment over here because it's just, man, y'all need to figure it out. You need to figure it out now.
So. Over the last 3 weeks, you've lost to Jacksonville and you've lost to Indy. I do like Indy, so I'm not saying that this is an egregious loss, but it is egregious in the fact that your offense looked like absolute trash.
It's not that loss; it's how they lost.
Yeah,
you didn't look good losing. I'm sorry. I mean, you got to make a little more. That's not respectable, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right, it's time to fire Matt Nagy and clear out everybody in Chicago's front office. Get a box, pack it up, get out. It's over. I am done. Everything about this game was egregious.
I didn't see it, but we discussed it off air. I'm just going to go a little further.
We discussed it. I yelled about it.
Well, I listened. You talked. I didn't have much to add outside of the fact that I already told you I was already down and pretty much done with this team. Now I'm going to say it officially for this season, I am out on Chicago. I'm just I'm saying it now from a fan standpoint. I want you to just pack it up and pack it in. Just shut it down. I'm good. Let Andy Dalton have the reins the rest of the way. I don't even want to see Justin Fields play anymore this year. I don't want to see him play with.
Well, let's start there. Matt Nagy.
Yeah, but let's stay with Nagy. We can work our way back to the players.
The number one thing this season was to develop Justin Fields. How the hell are you supposed to do that with broken ribs?
Well, they're bruised, but go ahead. I did confirm.
Okay. Whatever they are.
They hurt.
He's getting absolutely battered around. Why the hell is the game plan passing 20-mile-per-hour winds right off of Lake Michigan? Does that make any remote sense to anybody coming into this game? A game where Lamar Jackson is out. They're literally 90% of their offense is gone with that one person.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it because our defense held them to 16 goddamn points. Should have been 9, but I'll get to Kendall Vildor in a freaking second. Why is the game plan pass it 8 million times and allow their pass rush to absolutely tee off on Justin Fields when we don't even have Allen Robinson there, the number 1 pass target? Yeah. I know I love Darnell Mooney just as much as the next person, but I'm sorry, after Darnell Mooney, I'm not confident going into a game with Goodwin being my number 2 option. I don't think I'm an asshole for saying that.
Hey, until we seen Andy Dalton, I don't even think we would have been talking about a Goodwin today. So
that's number 1. But on top of the fact that if you just extrapolate out, I know David Montgomery has been out for quite some time, a little bit over a month, and that's perfectly fine. But if you go back to what he was doing before and what he was doing in these last 2 games, and you extrapolate that out and see what his averages would have been, and you put that all together, he would have been coming into this week the number 5 rusher in the NFL, right behind Ezekiel Elliott. And 14 carries in a game where there's literally constant 20 mile per hour wind gusts. We're only handing him the ball 14 times.
Yeah.
There's no other run concept that you're going to run except for let's just try to run it straight in between the tackles. Let's not try to get any motions going. Let's not try to get anything creative out there.
Can I ask a trivia question, a rhetorical trivia question for the Bears rush offense? What is more egregious? David Montgomery's 14 carries or Khalil Herbert's 1?
They're equally horrible.
And that's my point. I mean, I just know what we were discussing with the
I didn't even know Khalil Herbert only had 1. You're telling me we only had 15 designed runs this game?
20 total, but
No, because those other ones came from scrambles.
I'm just saying, Justin Fields gets 4, and Jakeem Grant got 1.
Oh, so sorry, 16
So yeah,
designed runs.
yeah, that's it.
And do we not look at the damn forecast coming into the game? What is the exact number on number of pass attempts?
Pass attempts we have 50, 15 attempts. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
34.
34 to 16.
Back to McNaghy.
Yeah. Are you like those numbers right there? Just tell it. You come into a game knowing that there's 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and you just didn't even try to get the run game going. You didn't. You can't tell me otherwise. Like anybody who watched this game, they did not care about David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, or Justin Fields for that matter. Like what? Oh,
That's the we're averaging just a shade over 3 carries per quarter. That's a non-existent run game. I'm just 3. Come on, man. You get like 5 possessions in a quarter, let alone you 3 times you only rushed the ball, and I mean you only managed out 34 pass attempts when that was all said and done. Completely inefficient offense. I'm convinced Matt Nagy is done. He can't get, and I'm saying this from the standpoint that I know there's some discussion about him staying versus him leaving. You know what the Bears organization is gonna do. But this is clearly a man who cannot get past or get out of his mind. Everything, every move, and every decision he makes is under complete scrutiny, and to the point where he is not thinking straight at this point. He can't be. And I mean, all he's thinking about is what can I do not to get fired? Everything you're doing is going to get you fired at this point. You have exhausted all possibilities of why you should be staying or why they would even think about keeping you another year. To do what? To build what? To start
you've had 4 goddamn years to build whatever
That's
you
what
wanted to, and it's gotten worse since 2018.
It's I find it virtually impossible that they bring him back next year. I don't see how and how they're going to spin that with the fan base, the PR aspect or anything. I just like what you can't bring this guy back. You just can't.
And I agree with you. Up until the point, if we get rid of Ted Phillips, I'm on your side. But Ted Phillips, and I told you this over the phone when we were talking about it, Ted Phillips breeds complacency. And he literally bold-faced, just straight up in the press conference over Zoom, came right out and basically said, I don't care about winning this past offseason, when he said, I really feel like Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy can build something here. The fuck are you talking about? What have you been looking at for the last 3 years? I get it. 12-4. We looked horrible in 2018 in 12-4 offensively. Defensively, had one of the best defenses in the damn league. I am 100% for that. But then we let go of Vic Fangio. We just let him walk over to Denver.
Right.
Fine. Can't win them all. He gets to move on. Our defense goes into complete regression mode. We completely missed the playoffs. We looked horrible. Mitch Trubisky had the worst season ever. He turnover machine, just cannot move the ball. We lose to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move on to 2020. We backdoor our way. We lose our way into the playoffs. We couldn't miss the playoffs because Arizona and the Rams were duking it out to see who wanted to not make it.
Right.
And, there was like, well, mathematically, Chicago should be in there. Cool. Awesome. We're there. And we have probably our best game of the season getting absolutely walked over by New Orleans. And, all right, another year of just trash. 8-8, trash. And now we're looking at this season. We're sitting at 3-7. Way worse than we ever thought this team should be at. Again, we should have won a game just a few weeks back against Pittsburgh. But outside of that, it's been completely our fault we lose games. Nobody to blame but ourselves.
I mean, when we're 31st in offense which
Who
completely
possibly has a worse offense than Chicago right now?
Houston.
I would take Houston's offense.
It's not by much. I'm just saying.
I'm taking Houston's offense. I know they just cut Philip Lindsay.
They sandwiched right in between Houston and Seattle. Yeah, they're bad. My point of even sharing that was only because of the only silver lining that any respecting Bears fan can have is our beloved defense that's ranked 11th. That's
without,
but it's being swallowed.
That's without Khalil Mack.
And that's what I'm saying. And it's being swallowed by the second worst freaking offense in the damn league. So
that's one side of it. Let's talk about the defense for a second, because that's where we lost that's where this game fizzled out at the end here.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this a few weeks ago, but this is even more egregious because it's not the same play, but it's the same goddamn concept that Kendall Vildor completely effed up. No. Too high.
What exactly did he do? Again, just for the listeners.
So, on that last drive, Sammy Watkins catches a wide open bomb from Huntley. And the only reason why he was open is because Kendall Vildor bit on double teaming a shallow cross. I thought that was Hollywood Brown. Come to find out, Hollywood Brown did not even play. I have no idea who that wide receiver was that he decided to double team. The only notable wide receiver that was on the field was Sammy Watkins.
It must have been Devin Duvernay.
Fine.
Or Rashad Bateman, but I think he would have recognized.
No, Rashad Bateman would have been on the other side.
It was Duvernay.
So there it is. Devin Duvernay. We bite on a 6-yard cross from Devin Duvernay to double team him for no reason with Sammy Watkins. The next defender is 30 yards away because we're playing single high man. We're playing a cover one man concept, basically. We just got the free safety over there at the top for help. All you have to do is just be within 5 yards of your man, and you'll get help.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. People keep saying the bunch concept confused them. Sorry. Where's the communication then? Where is I got 10, I've got 9, I've got 14. Right. Where is that? Where is the communication with the rest of your defensive backs to understand who's got who's going where, and what concept we're playing? Because double teaming Devin Duvernay when we're 50 yards away from the damn end zone, and all we have to do is make sure they don't get into the end zone because we're up by 4 with, at the time, less than a minute on the clock. After I have already given up an egregious amount of yards because I held on to a guy when I am playing too high man, and I know I have help over the top, and it should have been defensive holding, but it was pass interference it was called. Because I just panicked and grabbed my receiver when I had help over the top. I think it was Tayshaun Gibson on that side helping out.
Right.
And then when I don't have help, I bite on a double team on a shallow 6-yard cross from the 50-yard line.
What is your suggestion here?
I said it 2 weeks ago. Cut him. When it happened in the Pittsburgh game, that was egregious enough, in my opinion. I'm sorry. You know what the concept is. I don't care what how many years you have in the league. I don't care how many years you have playing football.
Right.
You know what concept we're playing in too high man. How the hell do you let somebody open like that? So when it happened in the Pittsburgh game, you should have been cut. It's happened now twice in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
And then you compile it with the egregious pass interference. I'm done. I wanted to give him all of the benefit of the doubt in the world. Because he's a Chicago Bear, and I'm a sucker for any Bears players. But at this point, when the offense finally does the right thing and getting into the end zone from however far out, doesn't matter if we're in the red zone or not, we scored a damn touchdown. You have to freaking capitalize. We take the lead. You have to capitalize. Every time the offense finally does the right thing, we give it away on the defensive end, and every single time the defense has a fantastic game, the offense can never get up to play. And again, that also leads back to Matt Nagy. You are a head coach. You are not an offensive coordinator anymore. You have to get everybody involved. Everybody has to be on the same play. It is one team for one goal. We were 12-4 3 years ago. We were a double doink away from possibly going to the damn Super Bowl. And now we're definitely not making it to the damn playoffs. We're behind the damn Vikings right now, who have Kirk Cousins still at quarterback, paying him $80 million on his contract. And they have nobody else over there but Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. And their defense is horrible. We're behind that team. And we're barely in front of Detroit, who is 0-9-1 and has losses to even worse teams than the Bears.
Vikings are at 27 in defense this year. Oh, it's like I said, I'm out. I don't even want to waste the listeners' time even going any deeper than that. I'm just out. Like I said, my recommendations, please, for the sake of my fandom, shut Justin Fields down. Do not put him out with this offense any further. This is a failed experiment.
Andy Dalton will be starting on Thanksgiving.
Yes, which is one step in the right direction, and let's just leave it that way. Justin Fields, don't take nothing into account. Just trial by fire. That's all this was. Just wait for next year. This is not the way it was supposed to go. He's thrust out there because they have not put a plan together for this guy to the point of saying, "I'm."
The plan is save our jobs.
Outside of that excitement of, my God, we got Justin Fields out of the draft. But I'm like, I don't think y'all had no plans after that beyond what to do with this guy, because y'all didn't even. I don't even think y'all could have believed y'all could have got him in the first place. Now, I'm convinced this team was built for this whole
Ted
Nick
Phillips,
Foles
Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy. Pack your bags. Get the fuck out.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Let's move on to the games. I got it. You are done with the organization or with upper management.
I'm really and I think this is the last point I have to drive home. It's not about just Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. I told you this. Ted Phillips has to go. He has hired 2 back-to-back completely inept GMs. The only, and I think I said this to you as well, the only possible good thing Ryan Pace has done, 2 things: Justin Fields pick and the Khalil Mack trade. And I told you, I think the Khalil Mack trade, day by day, to me, is getting worse. So possibly only one good transaction in the 6-7 years he's been here. Please leave. And whoever we had before, I looked him up and I found his name, but I lost it again. The GM before Ryan Pace, he hired him too, and that was even worse than Ryan Pace at that point.
You know that the Bears only had 4 presidents in team history,
and Ted Phillips needs to be
fired. Probability of they don't do a lot of turnovers at this level.
It's because it starts with him. It's the complacency. It's the we'll try again next year. We'll save our money for next year. What? No, you're not saving money because you're spending it in dumbass places. Because you keep hiring these dumbass GMs that don't know what the hell they're doing. Because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't give them a clear direction on what needs to get done. Because you're making all the decisions. Keep that in mind. Virginia McCaskey gives the president all the control. So the president of football operations has all the control in the Chicago Bears organization. They are basically the ones signing the checks at that point.
I haven't mirrored all of the presidents next to each other in their tenures, but just real quick, 22 years, 6 playoff appearances.
Get out.
Just throwing that out there. That's his,
Because I
that's his
think when
resume.
people hear that, I keep saying Ted Phillips, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But he is literally, he's basically,
He's the president and the CEO of the Chicago Bears, for people who do not know.
yes, and he is created a culture of complacency, of just inept football in the Chicago Bears organizations for the last, what did you say, 26 years, 22 years?
22.
22 years. So as long as I've been freaking alive, this man has been fucking over the Bears.
Since February 10th, 1999, he was signed.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to just throwing some numbers out there, but
And a team who looked worse than Chicago last week, Cleveland. You barely beat Detroit, 13-10.
My goodness, you know who the other 3 GMs were?
Who are they? I know. Isn't Hallis is one of them.
George Hallis.
Yeah.
George Hallis Jr.
Oh my God.
and Michael McCaskey.
And I'm almost positive Ted Phillips he's married into the family, I believe.
I think he's probably isn't he yeah.
I think he might be McCaskey's daughter's wife or husband.
I would have to look it up.
I don't know exactly who but I'm almost positive he's in the family.
Generally speaking, because that's how the Hallises and the McCaskies got together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not too sure. I would have to do a little more research on him, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't say it myself initially because I knew it was something in my brain that made me think that he is married into this family, and that's how he backed his doorway. And that's why I kept saying he has no idea what the hell he's doing, because he basically just got the job because he's married into the family. But I'm almost positive it's Virginia McCaskey's daughter is the one that Ted Phillips is married to, and that is how he got this job as a businessman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Whatever the case, yeah, he had to fill in some big shoes, and he did not.
No.
However, I will give him this one blemish. He did make it to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying that's a lot to be said, considering they only been in 2. So.
Been 15 years. I don't care.
I'm saying, I mean, every resume has something good on it. There you go. Doesn't make a good resume.
The Browns beat the Lions. The Lions fall to 0-9-1. My only question for this game, and the only thing that I kind of take away from this game is, do we know, are they going to re-sign Baker at this point?
I have no clue. I don't know, because I'm sitting there saying like, I really doubt it, but then we get to the draft and boom, they're getting the quarterback in the first round. And you already know what time it is. I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it at this. I think it's 50-50 at this point.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And even though they didn't play this week, I was gonna say, even though they didn't play this week, it's looking like OBJ and OBJ Senior or OB Senior over there. we're
OBJ Senior.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr. Senior.
Yeah. Both of them over there look completely right. This dude can't throw the ball.
Well, I mean,
15 for 29, 176 and a touchdown.
Just a little fairness. He ain't got much to throw to right now. But go back to your point.
They cut the only guy that was comparable over there.
I know it was a stupid saying to even say it. It's all messed up, but I was just
it's by their own volition.
If there's any way to try to find a redeeming quality here, there you go. You know, it was not like he had a lot to throw to. But this team is imploding right before my eyes. They are becoming that Cleveland team that I know and hate.
I mean, we do have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They are still above 500, and they're sitting right in the thick of the race for the wild card spot.
I don't want you to finish that. Stop. They have no equity of history.
I know
that will support this claim that you're trying to make. Therefore, I don't want to hear it anymore. It's done. We're done. I understand where you were going. Hopefully, the listeners caught on to that quickly enough, but I didn't want you to finish that.
All right.
Cleveland is trending down, and they've been following my power rankings up week by week. I'm just like, wow, y'all win.
They can't do anything, right?
13-10 over Detroit. Come on, man. Just like y'all might as well just lost the game. Yeah. You might as well just gave Detroit their first win. great. Yeah, you won the game. Great, wonderful. 13-10 at home to Detroit.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that got me, that it was at home.
You're Detroit, I would have gave you.
Yeah, because I mean, even Baltimore barely squeaked out a win against Detroit. So I would have gave them the benefit of the doubt there. Sorry, you are in Cleveland with all of your fans behind you.
Hold on. What happens to this high? I know people look at, well, they held Detroit to 10. Look at that defense, man. But this is
136 rushing yards from DeAndre Swift.
There you go. Who? I mean, APB on DeAndre Swift up until last week, non-existent for a career.
I will say DeAndre Swift has actually he has been a top 10 rusher in the league this year.
The whole year?
Yeah, whole year.
Okay, that's
so
quiet.
It's been very quiet because he's been on Detroit and they have not been winning games.
He's Hawkinson this year.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So that I will say DeAndre Swift has been good this year, but he has not been 14 carries for 136 and a touchdown good. This is some new stuff. Like
I'm sorry, Cleveland. I'm just it's what you're seeing. Let me just say, what you're seeing is what you used to see, and what anybody that's 35 years and older is used to seeing in Cleveland. This is what but where they started at the beginning of the season.
I'm used to seeing. I'm 23.
This is a tale of two seasons, though. I've never seen them start out that good and then. Okay,
I get what
status quo.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're falling back. They're 6-5. Don't get me wrong. Have a great record. However, let's not look at the record. Let's look at what the last 4 or 5 weeks look like.
Yeah,
they have transformed into a team that is barely hanging on at this point. So 6-5.
What are you more concerned about? Are you more concerned about the defense continuing to carry the team, or the offense just still not being able to click?
Wow, that's a good question. Both, but yeah, both. I'm more concerned about that offense.
Yeah.
Let me just say that I am concerned that the defense is withering away because the offense is not.
Yeah.
Did we just say this about another team? Oh, it sounds like we just.
I said they scored the same amount as Chicago. So, but I will say,
yeah, go ahead.
The streak remains as we move on to the next game here. 7-0 in the last 7 weeks, and I believe 9-2 whole season.
No, what we at? Oh gosh.
Regardless, 7 straight weeks at this point.
I got you. Please tell me I got the page. There it is. 8-3.
8-3. Okay. So yes, 7 straight weeks and 8-3 for the year. C4's number 1 in the power rankings has fallen again. And this one hit it home for me, and now I just need to see your power rankings before I make my picks. So at the end of the day, Houston 22-13. Just right in the mouth. And again, in Tennessee. On the road. Came into their building and just boom. Get the win. Get to 2-8. 2-8.
I'm not even pissed at Tennessee because Tennessee has showed us that this was coming for the last several weeks. You just was waiting to.
They were gonna get one.
I didn't think it was gonna come against Houston
at Tennessee.
But yeah, in Tennessee. But I sat there when it happened. I'm like, I'm not even surprised.
Yeah,
I
was watching the game and I was like,
the Buffalo game than this Tennessee game.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm just like, okay. What happened in Buffalo shouldn't have happened no more than what happened in Tennessee. Let alone in Tennessee, I'm like, I kind of see where this was coming from. They have been teetering, even though they made it to number 1 in my power rankings based on they won. They found a way to gut out these wins.
And the other thing was that everybody else lost.
That was, yeah.
Like that week was the weirdest week.
There was the number 1 would help. Okay, I mean, let's be fair. Yeah.
I mean, granted, they were my number 1 too that week, strictly based off of.
But nevertheless, another one bites the dust.
Which is funny though, because remember what I was praying for with your power rankings last week. I was praying that Green Bay would have been your number 1.
Covered
either way they would.
I had this thing sewed up. So I'm just saying. I don't know if this. I have to go back and look at my number twos, but I'm gonna go back and I'll bring that back for next week's
Okay,
stat.
gotcha.
So let's see if there's any likeness here, but I don't. I have no clue at this point. So because I don't even remember who I had it to outside of Green Bay last week. So yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be very interested in who's my number one this week.
Yeah, so I'm definitely, and I feel like anybody else
But I
listening.
think I'm just gonna give one little shred, just a. It's not a spoil. I'm gonna give you a trailer, just a little nugget of. I think the streak is gonna come to an end this week.
This week, okay.
I believe so.
I mean, we've been saying that for 4 weeks.
No. Hear me. Listen and look in my eyes when I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you something.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I really believe
I haven't looked at the matchup. So
that is going to break apart. You'll see.
All right.
Okay, moving on.
All right. No, this is a good game. By Texans have been playing pretty good football throughout the season. They've been a tough team to play.
They have, and they got buried at the bottom. I think of both of our power rankings.
They've
just
been there
based
for
on
so long.
how it started, and they just couldn't. When they did win a game, it didn't really move the needle or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, I'm sorry, that moves the needle for me.
You beat the number one.
I mean, damn. And I'm talking just from an NFL standpoint. You beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn, you was not supposed to win that game, Houston. I'm like, I don't know where. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tyrod Taylor did not throw any touchdown passes.
I don't believe so.
I think he rushed them.
He ran one in for sure. I did see that play, but I don't believe he threw it. No touchdowns. 14 for 24 and 107 yards. No touchdowns.
Tennessee. Oh, my power rankings love you to death today. Just for that. That's what I'm talking about. Bring up stats like that.
But also no interceptions. I think that, and this is what I was saying about Tyrod Taylor.
Go ahead.
Because if you include, I mean, he was 6 for 28 rushing. I mean, 135 yards of total offense. He's not going to F up the game for you. 69.3 in his passer rating. So solid game. Just came out there, game managed the game. He just is field general. I'm going to make sure that I don't F it up, but I'm going to let my other guys, a guy like Rex Burkhead, go 18 for 40. I'm going to let my plethora of wide receivers, Chris Conley, 4 for 37. Brandon Cooks, 2 for 18. David Johnson, 3 for 16. Chris Moore, 1 for 10. Pharaoh Brown, 2 for 10. Nico Collins, 1 for 9. Brevin Jordan, 1 for 7. Like, he just was, nope, I don't care what your number is. I don't care what your name is. I'm going to get you the ball, and you go make a play.
That guy, this guy, those guys.
The only person to get a target but no receptions was Danny Amendola, and his career is just about wrapped up with one target, no receptions.
At this point, I think he's an extension of the coaching staff.
Yeah,
more so than
he's a player coach.
Yeah,
so
you utilize when they absolutely need him. I mean, you would think that's at all times, but I don't think his talent, precedes the rest of this team anyway. He's, I just think he's a nice, veteran piece to have on your team. But nevertheless, still was on a winning team as of Sunday.
Sure it is.
And Texans 2-8. With what, 7 games to go? I mean, Texans, I think, kind of playing above their pay grade right now.
Okay.
I'm just.
All right.
I had to go back to I think we had them at 2 wins. Wasn't it one of the teams maybe was that Jacksonville?
Oh, you're talking about that.
Like the overall prediction for the season. That's what I'm saying. They're kind of playing above their pay grade based on our preseason predictions.
I'm actually going to go back and look.
Where are you available?
You didn't.
Because you had to know I was going to say
yeah,
this.
That's a
no, I had
preface
no clue.
thing.
No clue. No clue.
That's the wrong season.
But I found it disheartening that not only did the Titans lose, did you hear A.J. Brown went out with another injury?
I did not.
A chest injury. So he went out in the third quarter. And
yeah, A.J. Brown did go down. I do have him on the injury report this week. So
I'm damn, if nothing else, if nobody else, he can't be the one that gets hurt. And now he even goes now. Not, so, and I don't even know if he's coming, that hasn't been stated whether or not he's, day to day, or he's out for a week or whatever the case is. So it's
4 wins is where we had him at.
4 wins?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot I read it. I actually wrote that down. I didn't have it
so
in my...
I guess this was Providence. This was supposed to happen. obviously.
So
Who would have thought? Tennessee, I guess. Whatever.
All right. Well, Minnesota, they get back to 500 this week. They get a 34-31 win against the Green Bay Packers, who fall down to 8-3 here. Aaron Rodgers, 23 for 33, 385 and 4 touchdowns, not good enough to get himself a win. Dalvin Cook, 22 carries, 86 yards for 1 touchdowns, and I would say probably the player of the week, or outside of Jonathan Taylor. Justin Jefferson, 8 receptions, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had himself a day. And really carried this team on its way to a win. So I liked everything about Justin Jefferson's game. This was about Justin Jefferson in this game. He had multiple big time plays, multiple big time touchdowns, and basically just saved Mike Zimmer's job.
At least for a week. This week.
For now. We'll revisit that at the end of the year. But 34-31 win, pretty standard. I mean, it is. I will say the Vikings still should be scared with their kicking situation because they continuously are missing kicks. Green Bay, I'm surprised they haven't addressed Mason Crosby. He is over the last 2 years missed a plethora of important kicks.
They have just I think they're just kind of beyond to the point of he's just a lifer here, type of thing. Like almost like what you've seen with Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Toward the end of his career, like there got to be a better kicker out here, but it's like, dude, we've been with this guy for so long. he just got grandfathered into, unspecified amount of years. It does not really matter how the production is, but you're our guy, And Mason Crosby he's probably about as big as, next to Aaron Rodgers, he's probably about the next biggest name out there. I'm saying in Green Bay. I wouldn't be surprised. Like he has that kind of sentiment where these cheeseheads are really.
Oh well, I know they love him, but it's at a him. No, I get it, but it's at a point where it's like, okay, we can't lose games like this, especially with the uncertainty of what the hell is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and how close this. With how close the top of the NFC North or the NFC in general is.
Mm-hmm.
And there is only one bye week. And so, in how much that field is a home field advantage when you do get to the playoffs, they can't afford to drop games like this. So it's going to be tough. They've got an uphill battle now in the NFC to try to get back into it, but they've got Chicago on their schedule twice, so they'll be fine.
Oh gosh.
The Dolphins pull out the win in the divisional game, 24-17 versus the Jets. They get all the way up to 4-7. So
toilet bowl here.
Yeah, trash game. But moving on. Joe Flacco did start, so there is one thing there.
Can I add a caveat to Mr. Joe Flacco?
What's that?
Him and Mr. Mike White are both on COVID right now. Mm-hmm. So they won't.
But Zach Wilson is set to return. So
yes, so that leaves Wilson and Johnson, right?
Yeah, Josh Johnson, John Johnson.
Jack Johnson. I don't know.
Generic quarterback number 2.
Jay Johnson, number 10. Yeah.
So yeah, it leaves those two there, and it's going to be interesting to see how those pull off, how that all pulls together. It's not going to be pretty, I don't think. So
I have to say, there are some little nuggets to be found in some of these trashy teams that we like to. Case in point, New York, the Jets. There ain't much to look at. There's not much to look at by, just on face value and taking their team top to bottom. But I have to say, that rookie receiver they got over there, that's something.
Jalen Waddle?
Not in Miami.
In New York.
Jets. Elijah Moore.
Oh.
This guy is quietly beasting the last 3 weeks. I mean, quietly.
8 receptions, 141, and a touchdown.
I mean, if there was ever a place of how is no one know this? Because he plays for the Jets, and I don't even know if the Jets fan base has even caught wind of this. That this dude is the real freaking deal.
No, he definitely is wreaking havoc on defenses.
I just wanted to make a point of saying that there is some redeeming.
But my question would be. Is it more because he has rapport with the backup quarterbacks?
Oh, absolutely. And this is what the
Good,
problem is going
yeah,
to be.
Zach Wilson's coming back, and
And that's why I
he's
was like, oh my God, is there any way they could trade him? You know, that was the first thing that came to my mind. 'Cause I'm like, oh my God, he didn't do nothing when Zach Wilson was out there.
exactly that was gonna be what I was, getting to.
I was
Okay,
getting there.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
Let me just. I was trying to build it. Yeah. Anyway, it's fair because it's the Jets. So moving on. Like, but yeah. With that being said, I said all that just to say, but Zach Wilson is coming back, and you had like kind of you buried my lead.
Sorry, I tend to do that.
But
I get out ahead of it.
I wanted to bring out that there was a silver lining
Yeah.
that did exist. And
Well, let's see if if he's witness to the talents of Elijah Moore, and he's like, you know what, that's a dude that I need to be.
just throw it to that. Look,
yeah.
You want to throw 4 interceptions? Throw it, trying to get it to him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just all I'm throwing it. You throwing it?
Maybe he has been. We just haven't been watching.
I doubt it.
I do too. I
seriously doubt
trying
it.
to give Zach Wilson the benefit of the doubt.
No, I was not at all. I'm thinking, why can't Johnson start? I'm just gonna leave that out there.
No, that's fair.
But go ahead.
A team that you can't get, or 2 teams you can't get a grip on, but one team definitely got a grip on the win. Eagles, 40-29 against the New Orleans Saints. They played a very solid game, and the only thing is that my question would be for the New Orleans Saints: why is it that the only time you guys can seem to score points is in the fourth quarter, and garbage time? 22 points in the fourth quarter.
Did you see what his starting quarterback was, right?
Trevor Siemian.
It takes him that's about how long it takes him to man to get going.
It takes him 3 quarters to get going.
Whether it's Denver or New Orleans, it does not matter, man. Trevor Siemian.
They wish they had Trevor Lawrence.
Wish but Miles Sanders comes back finally. I mean, man, what have you been out 6 weeks, 5 weeks?
It doesn't matter.
I don't follow this guy at all, so I'm just.
Well, they weren't using him at the beginning of the season, and they finally did, and then he got injured, and then it was like, okay, well,
right.
that's all nixed again.
Anybody want to throw that in the comments and just let us know officially how long this guy's been out? Because no one really knows at this point, So, but yeah, 94 yards. So I thought that was,
It was a solid
impressive, an impressive backup performance to, oh my God, why am I dropping my man's name? Quarterback.
Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts. Man, I'm thinking I had every H word in my. It wasn't Hurts whatsoever. So, but he of course he literally carried the team.
Oh yeah, the Jalen Hurts is I will say this. I've been down on him when he got drafted. I was down on him throughout his time with everything happening last year with Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson and everything in Philadelphia. I was down on, but Jalen Hurts has been a constant for this team. He's been a rock for this team, and he's got. I mean, they're 5-6. They're 1 game below 500. They're at a point right now that I think that if they really honed in, and they just focused on playing through Jalen Hurts, this could be a team that snags that 6th seed.
That's fair. That's fair, and I'm going back to our preseason, and you was they're gonna finish dead last. I know I had to bring that back up.
I am wrong. I was wrong about that. I had them dead last. I did not have any faith that Jalen Hurts was going to be what he is.
Hey, I was wrong. I said it'd be in 3rd. They're in 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, and got a nice.
Hey, Taylor Heineke, he did his thing. So we'll get to him next, but
go ahead, finish your point.
No, I was just saying Washington can catch him.
We all talking semantics of the game.
Half game back. Half game back.
Exactly.
Hold on, slow your roll.
Yeah, they're half game back, but Philadelphia's a half game up. I mean, look, half empty, half full.
No, there's 8 weeks left. I wish. How many weeks are left? Who knows? 7?
No, 8 weeks total, but yeah, 7. No,
7. Week 12 is the 7th.
Yes, 7 weeks. Gosh, it's coming to go. Yeah, we're getting down to the stretch run here,
which I don't like. But yeah, I was getting at. I like what Philadelphia is putting together. It's seeming like everything that they were planning on doing is finally taking that turn back towards where they wanted to. I think they're in that kind of. They're a step behind Indianapolis right now. This
is where Chicago wants to be. That's where they're at. That's how I'm looking at it.
I'll leave it there.
Yes.
Washington pulls off the win, and Ron Rivera stifles the revenge game of Cam Newton,
I don't like Ron
27-21.
you know, I don't know what it is. I wasn't in the locker room. I didn't hear what the conversation was. I don't know what Cam said or did to this man. But I am so down on Ron Rivera. Like, dude, you seem like he's just a bitter old man.
Yeah.
That just, I'm just not. I can't get off of it. I can't get past it. You know, type of thing. And then he wins the damn game. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
he just killed my damn story here. So, go ahead. I just
No,
that's all I wanted to say.
the only thing that I have from this game is that I am now a firm believer in Heineke. The Heineke story. I like Heineke as a starting quarterback here. Miss me with trying to go get another quarterback in the draft. Miss me with this Kyle Allen BS that Ron Rivera loves him. And miss me with just the mess of Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. Like, let Ryan Fitzpatrick retire. He's had a fantastic career. He's had some glimpses. Fitzmagic was alive and well for quite a few years, and he's been a journeyman, and he's had great stories everywhere that he's been. But Taylor Heineke needs to be given the same respect Jalen Hurts is getting in Philadelphia. Taylor Heineke, I believe, if you actually invest in him and you actually invest in putting a team around him, protect him with an offensive line, get another weapon that can stay healthy all year long, and continue to build that defense and fix whatever the hell is wrong with this defense. You do that, and I think Taylor Heineke can get this team to the playoffs for one. And at that point, who knows? He almost beat Tom Brady last year. So, and that was single-handedly. Like Taylor Heineke was that entire offense in that playoff game.
Well,
So
he just beat the dynamic duo of Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So, and Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey came to play.
And he looked good doing it. 16 for 22, 206 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Excellent. And you have no complaints out of me. I mean, it just, you didn't know whether or not, like I was telling you up until like last week, and Fitzpatrick finally was ruled out for the season. It seemed like they just wouldn't necessarily hand over the keys just
and
yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's from what you saying that, and everything that I'm hearing over the radio with these guys saying that well, Washington still doesn't have their franchise quarterback. No, I truly believe Taylor Heineke can be that franchise quarterback for you guys.
I think he's proven it. He's not the greatest, not a top 10, but
he's winning,
is not a bottom 10.
And he's winning games with this crap team. Because let's not get it twisted. This team is not good around him. I mean, Gibson, great running back to have. He's a nice guy to try to spell him, but again, injury issues. Terry McLaurin, a great weapon to have, but injury issues. They've never had a tight end that can stay healthy.
And they are losing the starting tight end. They got their number 2, Curtis Samuel. Never has. I mean,
he still hasn't played this season, has he?
He's gotten on the field.
Really?
He might have got. He went in for one game.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm truly shocked. I literally have not.
It was mid-year, like about week 5, week 6. He's like for one, and then he got injured in the game early and went right back out. And he is still been trying to come back since.
And this is and I truly, and I think I said this a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about fixing the NFL. You need to get rid of this field. Like, you just got to get rid of this field, because at this point, having guys like him, because we saw Curtis Samuel in a team with Kyle Allen leading it, and Curtis Samuel was the guy in that offense. Curtis Samuel is a very, very good wide receiver.
Oh, oh no, don't worry. He's still there. We seeing him. He's in San Francisco, and he goes under the name Debo.
True.
Same guy. I mean, they do. I know it's coincidental, but oh my God, if them dudes ain't played mirrored, what you seeing from Debo Samuel this year is what Curtis Samuel was doing last year. So,
and the years before. I mean, Curtis Samuel's not to the same degree, but he had the same ability. Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, when they finally started using him all over the place, and which was bringing success to Carolina, and Carolina decided, let's just let this guy go.
Exactly. Let him walk.
Hold on, and I'm gonna tell you exactly when he came back in week 4, and he played in week 5 actually as well. Okay. That's when he got injured. So he's played in a game and maybe a minute because it was very
Jesus.
early in that second game, and that was in week 5. So he went out in week 5 and ain't been seen since.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. Well, I think Washington, they got a good win. They're a team that, like I said, I think could catch Philadelphia. I think it's going to be them duking it out for that second spot.
But let me say this to your Taylor Heineke point.
Oh yeah.
If there's any way to put him on the map, it is going to be this week on Monday Night Football against Seattle and against Russell Wilson. And if he can, I'm just saying, prime time, the world's watching.
Yeah.
And you, and the stage is yours, and they're in Washington.
I mean, I would say, I think he's done it on the biggest stage already when he went toe for toe or toe to toe with Tom Brady in the playoffs. But that's neither here nor there.
But, no, buddy, no one's talking about that.
Nobody's talking about that.
Thank you for bringing that to my remembrance. I didn't even remember it.
So, I know, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't remember that was the dude that literally almost stopped Tom Brady from winning his seventh Super Bowl.
I'm kind of remembering that now, but yeah,
because that was the toughest game that Tampa Bay had in that playoff run.
Yeah, I
don't think that there's. I mean, I think people will try to argue the Green Bay game, but to me, it didn't feel the same way in that, because Washington truly felt like if we give them the ball back, Taylor Heineke's going to score. Like, but when you flip over to the Green Bay game, you're like, all right, as long as we get the ball back, we'll be fine. So, like, that's the difference to me. But I think Taylor Heineke has already proven. He's proven it to me. I'm going to be ahead of the curve here and say Taylor Heineke should be Washington's starting quarterback, franchise quarterback from here on out.
I think that shouldn't even be much of an argument at this point.
And you tell NFL radio that, because they don't agree with me.
Well, if they're looking for a reason and an excuse as to why they're 4-6, it ain't because of Taylor Heineke.
Yeah,
that's the reason why y'all got 4 wins. Y'all
True.
6 losses does not have nothing to do with Taylor Heineke per se. You may want to just start with that defense that has come out super suspect in the first half of the season. So we'll go over there. I'll go there with that. But I want to say a shout out to Terrence Marshall Jr. He had 1 target.
APB.
You know, I mean, he actually played. It was out there at some point. And actually, Cam actually threw the ball his way at some point, but he did not catch it. So I didn't see the play, and I don't know what happened, but it was obviously what everybody has come to the conclusion of. Nothing.
Yeah.
So
all right. San Francisco gets a win versus Jacksonville. That's pretty standard, 30-10. Moving on. Cincinnati gets to 6-4 on the road against the Raiders. The Raiders, to me, and this is one thing that I did kind of, I wish I would have said this earlier, because I've been watching this with the Raiders for the last few years. Them after the bye week, they completely fall apart after the bye week, and now they have 3 straight losses after their bye week.
Yes, let's go with that.
32-13, they fall to Cincinnati, and Joe Mixon had himself a day. 30 carries, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Darren Waller didn't do too bad with 7 receptions and 116 yards. But
they lost 3 straight.
3 straight. Okay. Yeah. So I at this point, for everybody saying that this is the Raiders just need to figure it out. This is who the Raiders are. The Raiders are a team that just do not play well after their bye. They're a team. They're not a second half of the season team. They will come out early. They will make things interesting early, and then second half of the season, they might have 1 statement win.
Can we state the obvious also?
What's that?
They lost their freaking head coach. Take away all that personal stuff. I'm just saying from the X's and O's aspect. They're being under an interim coach. That has to have some type of effect.
But that point has a little bit of steam taken out of it when they have 2 wins going into their bye week with their interim head coach, on top of the fact that right after that you have everything that happened with Henry Ruggs. They still got to win after that, and then on top of that, everything happened with Damon Arnett. They got to win after that, and then they hit their bye week.
The league didn't figure them out just yet because of the change. Now
figured them out. I will say this is what I am reading from this. Outside of, yes, they lost their head coach, because this has been happening for multiple seasons now. This is 3 years in a row that I've witnessed this. After their bye week, the bottom falls out for the Raiders. The Raiders do not play well after their bye week.
Yeah, they don't. Let me explain how. Deshaun Jackson was was pegged fourth in the team in rushing
That's horrible.
and has no registered catches in the game. When I last remembered, Deshaun Jackson was a receiver, and only thing he has is 4 rushing yards off one play. That's how bad it is going over there. That I say what you want to say. I'm just saying,
I mean, if we want to talk about bad,
But I mean, but it even go further. Brian Edwards, the same aspect. He had 1 carry for no yards rushing, and have no receiving targets, no nothing. Him and Deshaun Jackson, Derek Carr has never looked this way. I'm just saying that this offense is in flux right now, completely.
well, yeah, I agree. Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna figure it out.
Oh heck no, it's done. I wasn't really dispelling what you were saying. I was just like, well, I mean, I just want to factor in that this interim coach thing is going to manifest itself, and we're seeing it. That I'm not saying that the coach is bad. I'm just saying that whatever your philosophy is not necessarily designed for this team, because this team wasn't built for you to actually lead them. So
yeah.
But with that being said, yes, they are busting out all on the seams, and they have just veered completely off the road at this point. And the Bengals look like that team again. So here it is.
They're sitting right back. I think they're at the top again of the AFC North.
They are in second, but yes, 1 game behind Baltimore that should have lost or could have lost.
But they beat Baltimore. They should be ahead of them. Oh, whatever.
6-4, Baltimore 7-3.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They got a 4 game ahead of them.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the Chiefs get a win, 19-9 against the Dallas Cowboys. This was supposed to be the game of the week. I am happy for you. I'm happy for the Chiefs. The Chiefs,
back
for the most part, are back. I do still have my trepidations with them because when Pat Mahomes doesn't throw a touchdown but does throw an interception, don't like that. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 12 for 63 and a touchdown.
Back.
So there's that.
Then
but
going by.
yeah, I know. Yeah, got to get that rest. But the biggest, Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore. What are we doing? Why are we not running the ball with Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott? I know Zeke tweaked his ankle early in the game, but if he was that hurt, he wouldn't have continued to play.
Exactly.
And you weren't out of the game. You're down by 10 points at the end. And nothing was working in the pass game, but all I saw, because I could only watch this game on Game Day Live, and all I saw was every single time in the first half, anyway, that the Dallas Cowboys had the ball, it just seemed like Chris Jones and Frank Clark were coming screaming down right there at straight at Dak.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Tyron Smith was injured and he wasn't in this game, but that should give you even more reason to get the run game going and make sure that, for one, even though you've gotten a ankle tweak, a little bit of a stinger on Zeke, you don't also want to have some sort of a stinger like the Bears with Justin Fields, allowing his ribs to be bruised now. You don't want to allow that to happen to Dak.
Right.
Like, you don't need 2 star offensive players injured, on top of the fact that CeeDee Lamb had a concussion in this game, and now we're still trying to throw. And Amari Cooper already has COVID, and he's not playing in this game or the next game.
Mm-hmm.
And my number 1 target is now Michael Gallup because of the concussion, and Michael Gallup is still trying to get his legs under him. How about let's establish the run first, and then maybe we build off of that.
You would think that it's a pretty cut and dry,
seems pretty simple
model to follow, but that is not what they chose to do against the Chiefs. And maybe because it was the Chiefs, I don't know, but whatever the case, that was a very uncharacteristic game plan to come out with. Obviously, did not work. You had me at the rushing statistics. Now, Zeke was 9 for 32. Well, no, it's really polarizes that for me.
What's up?
That Darrell Williams was 5 for 15 on the other side of the ball. Darrell Williams is the backup running back to Clyde to CEH, who finally came back, and that dude only had 4 less carries than your starting bell cow. Darrell Williams and bell cow will never go in the same sentence.
I understand that you're paying Dak $40 million. I get that. But you're also paying Zeke a substantial amount of money. I don't know exactly how it is, but I know he's one of the highest paid running backs in the league.
And everybody is so
and the offense should be ran through him.
Yeah, enraged with his dude's contract. But go ahead.
I'm just saying the offense should be ran through Zeke. That's how you were winning back when they were rookies.
This is how Dak Prescott got the offensive rookie of the year,
and
not Zeke some kind of way. But go ahead.
You run the offense through Zeke, and then Dak can take over games. And when they're both scoring fantasy-wise 20-something freaking points, that is when you guys continue to win games. And you guys can continue to hop online and say, we them boys, and all that other crap your disgusting fan base continues to do. America's team, this, that, and the other. Sorry, I don't agree, but...
They're America's team, because they're terrible. Y'all will get that later.
I'm... If I see another game like this, I'm done with the Cowboys. I'm leaving it at that. The Cowboys should be a team that should be competing for the NFC, but coaching-wise, the game plan is keeping them from that.
Yeah, I badly executed game on the offensive end. Didn't really give themselves any opportunities from the defensive side. I mean, I think defensively, you held the Chiefs to 19. That's saying something. But you did not give yourself any chance on that offensive side. I don't even understand why they would have abandoned the run when it wasn't called for.
Only down by 10.
That's what I'm saying. It's just that's at no way, shape, at no point would that call for, we got to go a different direction. We got to switch it all up. It doesn't make any sense. With that being said, you didn't get the win, and you basically went on the road and was embarrassed. So I think they'll retool for Thanksgiving. That old adage, that age old, game that they get every single year. Everything is in your favor. You got to bring your, the road team got to come out on the holidays. Probably got to get tickets for the whole family. Then they got to fly them all back so we can have dinner. And that's a lot of to do.
It's a mess.
That's why I don't like. This is why I don't like these. I just don't like Thanksgiving games, especially for the road team. It's just like I don't like them.
It sucks.
Yeah. So I think it's fitting that the Thanksgiving game gets to be their get right game. So, but for what that, take it for what it's worth. Because I mean, I didn't expect them to beat Kansas City, but I also didn't expect them to abandon their run game, and they're basically the strength of their offense.
Yeah.
In that process, you just made it even easier for Kansas City. So, as a homer, thanks, but as a fan, we were all expecting a shootout, and we didn't. Y'all denied us the shootout we were looking for. I was looking for that 41-38 game.
I was praying.
That's where that's where I thought it was going, but hey.
And and this still could be the Super Bowl this year.
Man, it'd be a nice matchup. Good Lord.
All right. Well, Arizona did beat the Seattle Seahawks 23-13, and this just eliminates all hopes for Seattle making it to the playoffs. So there is that. James Conner had himself a day again. Another touchdown, 21 carries, 62 yards. And Colt McCoy's out here, 35 for 44, 328 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's getting himself a job next year.
He pulled out the 6 shooters. Man, he's like, okay, let's just forget about last week. Well, man, 2-1 in Kyler Murray's stint of being injured. I mean, damn, if you can't ask much more out of your backup. Chicago, good Lord. Get a freaking clue. Man, I'm just like, this is how it's supposed to look. I'm just saying.
You never should have let go of Chase Daniel. That's another point. I'm not getting into that.
Yes.
I love Chase Daniel.
All right, let's not even go down that one.
And to talk about where he's at now, the Chargers get themselves a win, 41-37. I'm killing it with these segues today.
You've gotten very good at it. Yes.
The Chargers are now 6-4, 41-37. They and so another conversation I think we had.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I believe at my issue with this game, congrats Chargers, you got right, you got to win, put up 41 points. The offense looked good. Justin Herbert looked good. Don't like the fact that he was the leading rusher of this game, but I do like the fact that they finally are getting Keenan Allen back involved with the offense because it's been all season APB out for Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there. They did get him involved. I don't understand, how is he the leading rusher when Austin Eckler did what he did? All right. Well, Austin Eckler was only just 50 yards. The 2 touchdowns really just carried him.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. It's just comes down to.
Oh, and it's 2 receiving touchdowns.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh yeah. Okay. That's what
he
it
was
is.
all over the place.
I forget he is also a pass catching back. But they played an all around fantastic game. And my only issue is coming defensively. And this is what I kind of mirror this with Indianapolis. You can't allow teams to get back in the game and have any sort of a hope when you get up. They were up 24-10 at some point in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to close it. You got to finish the game out. You can't allow them to just kind of chip away, get back in it, have any hope that in the fourth quarter they will have an opportunity to win, because that is when you get got. That is when you have these big comeback wins, is when you're like, okay, we got our lead, we're fine, we'll go conservative.
Mm-hmm.
No, finish the game out, close it out, shut the door right in their face so they don't ever have any inclination that they could ever come back to beat you. It's just as simple as that. That's my, like, if you're looking to become a championship team, that is a mentality you're going to have to take to become that type of team. So I'll leave it there. I don't have any more. Congrats on the win, but get that fixed, and then we can start talking about Super Bowl aspirations.
Yeah, that fourth quarter was ridiculous. Yeah. Like you said enough. Let's leave it there.
And let's wrap it up with the New York Giants. They lose just 10-30 against the Bucs. The Bucs just handed them that L. And
wasn't this game flexed to the 325 game?
I know. I agree.
I mean,
I feel like that. Yeah, from what we talked about last week, I do feel like we would have had a completely different game if Cowboys Chiefs were on Monday night.
Yeah, that definitely should have been a front runner. Had Kyler Murray been playing, I could have seen Arizona and Seattle being the super.
Yeah.
But of course, we would have had 2 back-to-back Seattle Monday night games, and
can't have that.
Yeah, Seattle does not qualify for that. So, but yeah, when I looked at that, I'm like, wow, that's a scheduling snafu there. I'm like, what the hell? How's New York?
Because we're expecting New York to be better than this, but
who was this we that you were just speaking of? This group of
that's fair
misguided. Moving on.
Sorry, ESPN expected them to be.
I guess that was a miss. But anyhow, 30-10. I don't even have to go too deep into this, do we? It's just
there's nothing there.
Nothing. Nothing.
Tampa Bay, you did what you were supposed to do.
It's
Congrats.
like no surprises here. Outside of they only scored 30.
And we will see the Rams and Broncos back this week after their bye. So that is going to do it for the recap for this week. We had a solid slate, 15 games. And just to let you guys know, game picks wise, you, sir, went 11-4, bringing your total to 90-60. I went, 11-4, bringing you to 101-64. I went 9-6 last week to bring myself to 165. So we both cracked the 3-digit mark so far this season. So, round of applause.